Welcome back to my channel, guys. Thank you once again for those that have subscribed. Thank you for those that have come back to watch, who commented, just engaging with me. I really appreciate that. So today we are focusing on forgiving yourself. I think it's something that's said very loosely, but like the practicality of it is very, very tricky. I mean, what do you mean? I must forgive myself. What wrong have I done me? Because it's always easy to just assume that it's always other people that have done you wrong. So in the process of just going back to my childhood, going back to certain patterns that I had, going back to certain decisions that I made at the moment where I thought, yeah, I know this is the right decision, and then long term it turns out, oh, actually no, it's not the greatest. In some instances is I thought that I was doing the right thing, but I didn't know any better, or it was certain influences, or life just happened and you just like, oh my goodness, what is going on? So in feeling everything and just allowing it to be as raw as it possibly can be, you need to get into a space where you acknowledge, right, and you heal, and then you forgive, so that you don't go back and cringe every time and you think, oh my God, 5 years ago I did A, B, and C. You need to, as I said, accept every layer that you've been in and embrace it for what it is, fill it out, and then collect yourself and move on forward. So in moving forward, you need to allow yourself to accept the patterns that you had created for yourself, and then allow yourself to forgive yourself, because in that moment when you made that decision, it was okay in your head, or you just did what you thought was best at the time. And one thing that I've come to understand when it comes to forgiving yourself, one of the hardest things to grasp is like when you look at certain patterns, like if you keep attracting the same guy or keep dimming yourself down in spaces, if you just got these repetitive toxic patterns that you keep repeating, that you start convincing yourself, okay, now clearly this is who I am, this is all I can be. It's very hard when you're trying to change and become a better person to not go back and just fall into the same habit, because in your head you've programmed yourself to believe this is all I can achieve. So it becomes weird for me to trust my decisions. I think that's one thing I had to just grasp mentally, that it's very hard to trust my decisions when on countless occasions I've let myself down. On countless of occasions I've made promises, also I'm not going to do A, B, and C, I'm not going to do this, and then I go that very next day and do the damn thing, and you sit there, you're like, what's the point? Because when you transitioning into bettering yourself and trying to move away from certain patterns that you had encompassed because of whatever layers you had back then, and as you're trying to remold yourself and unlearn and relearn certain things so that you can create boundaries for yourself, firstly, because sometimes you blow your own boundaries because you do not know your own limits, or you just went wherever the wind blew you. So if you like a free spirit that has no boundaries, I just go wherever the morning takes me, it's very hard to set boundaries, because then it needs to place limitations on what things you can accept and what things you can't accept. And when you're used to accepting anything, the thought of restriction kind of feels abnormal, and the thought of actually creating healthy boundaries seems abnormal, because you had no boundaries, you were boundaryless. So that's one thing I've had to like sit myself down and say, no, this was you. Yes, it's okay, that was you, but you have all the capability to basically create new patterns. Like, when you're so used to people that are disengaged and they don't give you the right attention that you crave or expect from them, you become a person that accepts just mediocre attention, and that becomes your normal. So when you find someone who's just like present and intentional and literally wants to know what's going on with you, you sit there and you're like, okay, why are you being so weird? But how is that weird? Because that's probably something that you longed for the longest time, but all you attracted was the complete opposite. So the opposite became your normal, and then you sit there and you're like, why are you so nice? Why are you so sweet? Wow, like why are you so thoughtful? Like normal things become weird because you so used to just settling, you so used to just um getting by. I just think we so okay with getting by and just reaping the bare minimum, because I guess if you also just give the bare minimum, you will receive the bare minimum. And now when you're trying to break out of it, you sit there and you're like, this feels weird. So you need to feel it out again. You need to feel out the weirdness. You need to feel out the new discomfort of a new comfort of happiness. When you're so used to toxic spaces, you need to get used to the fresh air. You need to get used to, the different aromas that actually lighten up your mood, like lighten up your day. Whereas you used to tensing up, you used to thinking, oh my God, who's gonna stress me out today? Who's gonna make your fat comment? Who's gonna trigger your daddy issues? It becomes easier to forgive yourself, where you're able to point out, oh, okay, no, that's not my portion. I slide it out. It's what I've consciously been trying to do when it comes to weight. When someone comments about my weight, I deal with, okay, what are the facts? I've been working out, I've been eating right, I've been seeing results in my body, and I'm doing the work. So whatever they say doesn't necessarily mean it's my truth. So you need to sit back and just allow yourself to pinpoint to which one is fact, which one is false, and which one validates me more. Is it from the outside or it's me? I think you just need to get into a space where you are able to center yourself and just allow yourself to feel, unpack, acknowledge whatever you need to acknowledge for its truth, and even, yes, sit in your pity party and be like, oh, that's not great, that wasn't fun, but get yourself up and heal and fight for the things that you truly believe that you deserve, because I remember when I was trying to move away from starch, and then on like a random day, mom cooks like his kwakani and stuff, and then I have starch, and I'm like, oh my God, now I'm 60 kgs heavier. So I had to work on my mental strength and mental conversations that I had with myself. So it could be like the smallest things, but you need to formulate patterns that help you point out when you're about to dig yourself into a hole where you could be healing, you could be forgiving yourself, you could be creating leaps and bounds and moving into better spaces, protecting your peace and so on. But if you don't find those things that are individual to people, you might find yourself back into creating those unhealthy patterns. The one thing that I struggle with, there are people who I naturally get along with, but I used to feel like they drain my spirit and I engaged too much with them, and it's been years and years of friendship, or I should just say acquaintances, but in my head I thought it was friendships. So when I had to sit myself down and be like, oh my goodness, this person is dead weight, I need to remove them. I thought about ghosting, but I was like, if I'm ghosting, I'm leaving a room for them to come back. So I just need to suck it up, have a conversation so that I close that door completely. So sometimes you can feel guilty when you setting boundaries, because people are gonna be like, but we should do A, B, and C, because there's a certain entitlement that they sometimes also have over you that you've allowed, and you also need to forgive yourself for giving too much of yourself to people that didn't deserve. You also need to forgive yourself for giving too much attention to situations that you had no control over, and even in situations that you did have control, sometimes you just didn't have the resilience or the confidence to speak out and place a boundary. Uti, mina as ufanele, I'm not gonna stand for this. So it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, but it's so fulfilling when you get to a space where you're like, yes, that was me and it was okay. And then you just forgive yourself and you focus more energy on creating more healthier boundaries for yourself, for your loved ones, and you actually just sleep better at night. Like insomnia used to just be my thing, but now I'm just able to get my mind into a space where we take in the day, we cringe over things we need to cringe, we talk out what we need to talk out, and then we just rest, give it up in prayer, give it up in meditation, and then we sleep and we tackle the day for what it is tomorrow. You know, I'm always open to fresh starts, and if I had committed to try and do something today and I fumble, I'm like, okay, yeah, you kind of messed that up, but we'll do better tomorrow. I'm not one to wallow in self-pities anymore, because it's not necessarily progressive, and then you dig yourself into a deeper hole. So I might say it very casually in that you must forgive yourself, but it's crucial, and it's not something that happens overnight. It's everything is literally trial and error, because there are certain things that you think you've forgiven yourself for, but then something triggers it, and then you have to feel it out again. I think one thing you should never do is want to numb or fast forward a healing, fast forward a forgiving space. Allow it, feel it out. Like, yo guys, I cannot emphasize the importance of feeling out a situation for its truth at that moment in time, so that it doesn't come back again and condemn you unnecessarily. So yeah, I hope we can all just get into a space where we are a bit more gentle and empathetic to ourselves, and just exercise more kindness, because like there's literally no formula to this life thing. But I think what can uphold us is our intention on a daily basis. If your intentions are good, everything will start aligning that way. And even when you fumble, you stand in the knowing that you can achieve the mental strength, the peace, the happiness, the joy that you desire for yourself, and inevitably desire for the people around you. So yeah, that's it for today. We will see each other again on Monday.